There are certain places you just don't stop at after dark. Abandoned roads that wind through the woods with no lights, no cell service, no help. I was on one of those roads, Highway 23, when I saw him. A man standing completely still, like he'd been waiting for me. I didn't know it yet, but the moment I let him into my car, I wasn't driving alone anymore. I drive a small delivery van for a courier service that runs overnight routes through rural parts of Tennessee. It's usually boring, long, quiet roads, gas station snacks, and the occasional deer crossing. But last fall, something happened that I still can't explain, and I don't think I want to. That night started like any other. The air was cool, the sky was moonless, and I had about 150 miles to cover before sunrise. Most of it would be back roads twisting empty highways through Appalachian forest. Around 1:30 a.m., I was cruising down Highway 23. No cars ahead or behind, just trees pressing in on both sides. That's when I saw him. A figure, right in the middle of the road. I hit the brakes hard. My headlights lit him up, a man, maybe late 30s, wearing a coat too big for him and a cap pulled low. He wasn't holding out his thumb, just standing there, not moving. I rolled down the window a bit and shouted, "You okay, man?" He nodded slowly, then took one stiff step toward the passenger door. I don't know why I let him in. I guess I was half asleep, or maybe I just felt sorry for him. I unlocked the door. He climbed in without a word. The next few miles were awkward. He didn't speak. He didn't even look at me. Just sat there, staring straight ahead. His coat smelled like damp earth. Every now and then, he'd breathe in sharply through his nose, like a sniff but slower. I asked him where he was headed. Nothing. I said, "Look, if you need to get somewhere specific, I can drop you close. Just say something." Still nothing. About 10 minutes later, I glanced over to check if he'd fallen asleep. The seat was empty. I swear I didn't hear the door open, didn't feel the van shift. He was just gone. I slammed the brakes, heart pounding, and pulled over. I checked the back, the size of the road, even walked around with my flashlight. No sign of him. I told myself he must have jumped out when I wasn't paying attention. Maybe I missed a sound. Maybe I was too tired. Still, something felt wrong. The seatbelt was still buckled. I kept driving. By 3 a.m., I reached a small roadside motel just outside Crossville. I stayed there sometimes to nap before heading back. The place was dead silent. I checked in, got my key, and walked to room 6. As I passed room 4, I froze. The curtain moved. Not like it was blowing in the breeze, there was no wind. It moved like someone was peeking out and then let it fall. Inside room 4, behind the glass, was the same man. Same coat, same cap, same empty stare. He didn't blink. I rushed into my room, locked the door, and sat there with my back against it for what felt like hours. Eventually, I fell asleep with the lights on. Next morning, I asked the front desk who was in room 4. The woman gave me a confused look. "We don't book that room. Hasn't been used in years. Water damage, why?" I didn't answer. I just nodded and left. I haven't driven that route since. The woman gave me a confused look. "We don't book that room. Hasn't been used in years. Water damage, why?" I didn't answer. I just nodded and left. I haven't driven that route since. He brought Annabelle on stage for a sold-out crowd. Shortly after, he was found dead in his room. They say she's cursed, but now I can't stop watching her online. I wasn't a believer, not in ghosts, demons, curses, any of it. I ran a small paranormal YouTube channel, Midnight Theory, where I visited supposedly haunted places, reviewed creepy footage, and dug into internet lore. But deep down, I thought most of it was just that, lore. That changed last month It started with a message. A fan DM'd me a TikTok video. The caption read, "Annabelle is back. She's in Gettysburg now." I rolled my eyes at first. Everyone knew about the Warrens' cursed doll Annabelle. The real one was locked in a glass case, right? In Connecticut? But the video didn't look fake. It showed a small stage in a dim conference room, rows of metal folding chairs, a woman standing beside a glass container, and inside it, a doll with cracked porcelain skin and empty black eyes. She looked wrong, not the version from the movies. More human, more fragile, more dangerous. I paused the clip. The woman in the video introduced herself as Maggie Wren, said she was leading a new paranormal tour, the Annabelle Experience. They were doing 5 stops. Gettysburg was the next one. Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, 4 hours from where I lived. I booked a hotel the same night. I didn't tell my audience. Wanted to film everything myself, build suspense. I packed my camera gear, spare batteries, and an old voice recorder I used for EVP sessions. Got there by evening. Hotel was an old brick building, 2 floors, called Grant's Hollow Inn. It looked like something out of the 60-second. When I checked in, the woman at the desk gave me a weird look. "You here for the show?" I nodded. She gave me a room on the 2nd floor, room 208, right next to the elevator. That night, the conference room was packed, maybe 50 people. Some brought their kids, a few wore Ouija-themed shirts, everyone had their phones out. The room lights dimmed, and Maggie Wren walked out. She was older than I thought, late 50s maybe, dressed in all black. She stood beside the glass case and said, "This is not a replica. This is the real object. You are in her presence. Be respectful." Some people laughed nervously. Others whispered prayers. She told stories some I'd heard before. People who touched Annabelle's case and got in car crashes later. A guy who mocked the doll and died of a heart attack the next day. Then she invited us to come closer. Not touch, just observe. I stepped up with the rest. And that's when it started. When I leaned in to get footage of the doll's face, the air felt colder. My camera suddenly refused to focus. The lens flickered, autofocus pulsed in and out. The image warped slightly. I stepped back. A woman next to me whispered, "Did you see that?" Her eyes moved. I didn't say anything. Back in my room, I reviewed the footage, frame by frame. In one shot, the doll's head was turned slightly. It had changed angles. I didn't sleep well. At 3:17 a.m., I woke up. There was a knock. Soft, 3 times. I froze in bed. The knock came again, this time slower, as if someone was dragging their hand across the door. I grabbed my phone, opened the camera. No one outside through the peephole, but something was there. I could feel it. Next morning, I asked the front desk if anyone had come by. She looked puzzled. "No one was on your floor. We don't place anyone in that wing during off-season. You're alone up there." That day, I ran into Maggie outside the venue. I told her about the knock, the dreams, the doll's movement. She just said she remembers who sees her. That night, I packed to leave, threw everything in my car. Before I drove off, I checked my bag one last time. There was a note. Folded, no envelope, just 3 words, handwritten, "She knows you." I haven't uploaded anything since, but my phone battery drains at 3:17 a.m. every night. And I swear I hear knocking, not on the door, from inside the closet. I was alone in the woods when I saw 2 eyes staring at me. They weren't human. I ran for my life, but every night since then, I still hear it following me. I've always found peace in the woods, The way the trees swallowed sound, how shadows danced at dusk, it was a kind of silence I craved. Last fall, I ventured into the Allegheny National Forest. Alone, no friends, no signal, just me, and the kind of stillness that makes you hear your own heartbeat. I set up camp near a forgotten creek bed far off any trail. By sunset, the air had turned sharp and cold. I lit a fire, turned off my phone, leaned back, and let the October wind whisper through the trees. Around 10 p.m., I heard it, a sharp snap. Not a deer, not a raccoon, something big, something careful. It was behind me. Then it circled. Something moved beyond the firelight, too large for a fox, too quiet for a bear. Every time I turned, it stopped. Like it knew. The air shifted. It got dense, heavy, like the woods were holding their breath. I grabbed my flashlight and scanned the trees. Nothing, but every inch of me screamed, watched. It wasn't just fear, it was recognition. Something in my DNA said, this isn't a predator, it's a witness. At 2:14 a.m., I woke up not from a noise, from pressure, like something was standing outside my tent. Breathing, slow, wet. Then, the zipper. It moved. Not fast, just a slow pull down. I burst out, flashlight, high heart pounding. Nothing. The fire was ash. The woods silent. And then I saw them, eyes, too. White, glowing, just beyond the trees. Too high, too still, unblinking. They blinked, not together, independently, like two separate things. I blinked and they were gone. I didn't sleep, I just shut off. By morning, I packed and hiked out fast. But when I reached my car, mud streaks on the driver's window, fingerprints but with too many fingers, and claws. I haven't been back, but some nights at 2:14 I wake up, not because of a dream, but because I feel them, watching, not outside, inside, and every night, they feel closer. Closing message from Mr.Somberrift. If this story is unsettled, you let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. Got a true experience you want to share? Email us, mr.somberrift@gmail.com. Your nightmare might be our next story. Until then, sleep with the light on. And if you see two